Yeah, okay, go ahead. No, wait, don't. Maybe we should. I don't know, maybe it seems a bit risky.
Do you want a beer or not?
Just lead. You will be defined by the decisions you make as a leader. Are you generally making good calls or bad calls? Do you even know whether you're making a good call? We should be putting the science behind decision making into action to ensure that we make better calls as leaders. We need to determine what sort of decision maker that you are. There are plenty of models out there that we could use, but we're going to use the 5 decision makers system that was extrapolated from research done by Dan Lavallo and Olivier Saboni. Determining where you sit on these sliders will give you an indication of the type of decision maker that you are. Do you prefer the ad hoc world or process-driven world? Do you prefer action or caution? Do you gather information narrowly or do you look more broadly? Do you believe corporate interests or personal interests prevail? Are you someone that likes continuity or change? Are you someone that prefers storytelling or do you prefer to live in the world of facts? And from this, you'll be able to determine the type of decision maker that you are. There's a visionary type of decision maker. These decision makers are quick to act and love change. If you fall into this category, you're going to gather your information from narrow sources and then jump quickly. These decision makers are more likely to get decisions wrong. If you're this type of decision maker, you need to focus on getting the experts into the room, get more people around you that know more information, and try and broaden your information gathering sources. Ask more people before jumping to a change. Then there is the guardian style of decision maker. These decision makers are very facts and information oriented. They're hungry for more information and they use this data and information to make their decisions. They're usually very slow to act and are resistant to change, and they need to be heavily influenced by the data in order to elicit a desire to change. Because they're slow acting, in the normal day-to-day operations of a business, this isn't too bad. But when things start to get a little bit hairy and you need quick decisions made, this is where they start to falter. When you understand that you are this type of decision maker and that slow decision making may impact the business, then you need to surround yourself with people that make quicker decisions, perhaps the visionary style of decision maker. Let them help you accelerate the process in making your decision. Then there is the motivator style of decision maker. Motivators are good at spinning a yarn. They're good storytellers. They're good at aligning people towards a vision or decision that needs to be made, a change that needs to be made. But they look at the data very narrowly, and they tend to look at data that will align to the story that they're spinning rather than looking at the data in its raw source. The drawback to motivators is that they can make bad decisions when they're aligning the data at their disposal to the story, and they tend to believe the story above the raw data that they're given. If you fall into this category of decision maker, you need to ensure that you're reviewing the way you're making decisions every time. Are you really looking at the data in the way it's intended to be looked at? If you're in a meeting and you're coming to a different conclusion to every other person in the room with the same data there, is that the correct decision, or are you just viewing it through your lens? I'm going to take a minute right here in the middle of this video just to let you know that I am a young and growing channel, which means subscriptions are incredibly important to me. To help grow this channel and help me get my voice out there to more people, please hit that subscribe button if you've been enjoying what's going on right here. Enough of that, let's get back to the video. Then there's the flexible style of decision maker. And as the name suggests, they're happy to sit in uncertainty. They will review every piece of data and every option available to them before they make a call. They will leave no stone unturned. The problem with this style of decision making is that you can get stuck in indecision prison with too many alternatives to actually make a call. If you find yourself being this style of decision maker, the best way to negotiate the flaws of this decision making is to put deadlines on yourself. Make sure you've got strict, rigid structure around when you need to make a decision and come to it then based on the information you have at that time. And lastly, there's the catalyst style of decision maker. The Catalyst style of decision maker is really good at gathering people and getting a group consensus in making a decision. Catalyst decision makers tend to make good leaders because they're good at involving people and getting a group dynamic together. When determining the style of decision maker that you are, as a catalyst, you will fall into the middle of the sliders. And because you aren't particularly strong in any of the areas of decision making, your decisions will tend to be mediocre. This is fine most of the time, but when a problem requires out-of-the-box style thinking, you'll come up short. When these situations arise, you need to be careful about the people you surround yourself with and ensure that you have that out-of-the-box style thinking around you and at your disposal when it comes to making decisions. So where do I sit in this system, you might ask? Well, I am a motivator style decision maker. Data was important to me, but I didn't necessarily need the largest Excel spreadsheets in order to make a decision. I sat in that world of telling a good story and motivating people towards that change. What I did was ensure that I was constantly asking questions of my teammates and my subordinates to ensure that I was interpreting the data correctly and making the right decisions. I did everything in my power to ensure that when I was making decisions, I wasn't making them with those rose-tinted glasses on. What type of decision maker are you? And what processes have you put in place to ensure that you counteract those negative qualities of that decision-making style? Comment below and let us know. Being sure of your decision-making style will help you greatly when determining whether you have a troubled employee that needs your attention. See here.